Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Well, today I want to give you a little update as to what's happening with the movie and who's most likely going to be in it. The first story, the way it looks, the chronology fits perfectly, is going to be Roy DeMeo, you know. So on Friday, so now the writer Rob Port, the producer, everybody's got contracts now. I mean, I signed mine. I didn't get it back yet. Waiting for the lawyers to do their due diligence to make sure we really own it. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But anyway, uh, it looks like it's going to be the Roy DeMeo 1972 Lincoln Town Car, 59th Street Bridge story. But before they do that, you know, this movie is 31 years in the making, 10 options over 31 years, some options going as long as 4 years. Two options and a turnaround for 1 year, two 18-month options and a turnaround 4 years. It's been a roller coaster ride. It just was a roller coaster ride. And why was it a roller coaster ride? Because all of these damn, this is what happened as a studio or a production company options my life rights in the book, and boom, they hire a screenwriter. Every one of those screenwriters didn't give a shit what was in this book. They just wanted the title, cop without a badge, and they came up with their own rendition of what my life was. And when that rendition was put in a form of a screenplay and submitted to the executives of all these studios and production companies, they rejected it. Why wouldn't they? They all suck. They were all trying to make it like a friggin' Die Hard, blowing up oil refineries, and it was just like fucking. It was just stupid. Truth is stranger than fiction. Screenwriters of America, Screenwriters Guild, you got that? You can't make it better. You just leave it alone. That's why they bought it. I never got that. I never got that. That they just buy the title. So anyway, on Friday, the movie making production began. And how did it begin? Uh, I worked with Rob Port and the producer. We did a three-way phone call. The producer was, for the most part, quiet and just listening. The guy's one of those. He studies you. He studies you. Anyway, this has never happened. When I used to say, "Yeah, they're making a movie about me," I always thought they're making a movie about one of my stories. But this screenwriter is doing the real story about this guy, Kevin Moore. And the story's so I worked with him on the screenplay. So he asked me a bunch of questions from when I was born, what school I went to, what made me who I am. And to this day, I really don't know what that is. I really don't know. All I know is that reading this book and going back to my childhood. I'm 70 years old now. Going back to my childhood, I had a rough childhood. Then I went to prison. I was in the Marine Corps at age 14. And the way this guy described it in the book, the writer, he did an absolute terrible job. He didn't, where's the Marine Corps picture? It's gonna haunt me. He puts in the book. Yeah, Kevin in his youth when he was 14. Yeah, Kevin joined the Marine Corps. Where the hell is Kevin? Kevin joined the Marine Corps. There he is, right there, at age 14. Didn't tell the whole story. Didn't tell the whole story. Didn't tell how I did it. How I did that. Anyway, so I'm going back in time. So the first part of this movie, half of this movie, is going to be about me. This is like the first time a movie was optioned where they're going to make the movie about my biography, my life. Like this book is not only a true crime book, it also can be found in the biography section of any bookstore. But this guy is the first time that wanted to get to know me as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, my going to prison. And boy, I'll tell you, it was an emotional ride to go through that. And as I'm telling these stories, he's pulling more out of me, almost like an investigator would put a subject that he's interrogating to get him to talk. And that's what Rob did. And if you're looking at this, Rob, thank you. I mean, he strikes me as being a very sincere guy that actually gets this story. And I even sent an email to the owner of the studio, right? And I said, not for nothing, I'm nobody, but I think this guy is going to be the guy to go with. And they signed him, so he will be the writer. Now, going back to my childhood, it brought up a lot of things, especially prison. So I just wanted to let you guys. So it brought back prisons, and it brought back all the fistfights I got into. It wasn't that many really, considering how many years I spent in prison. But I'm gonna be talking about what it's like to be good-looking, blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy in prison, especially in that Rikers Island. That Rikers Island was no joke. So I'm going to be doing a next series of vlogs about fistfights, me and fistfights, and there was a lot of comical ones. Boy, there's a couple of great stories in there. So I just wanted to let all you Roy DeMeo fans know that, yep. Here's what happened. Here's what happened with the Roy DeMeo. Here's what happened. When I wrote this book, boy, this guy, Charles Kipps, he broke my balls about chronology, and I couldn't remember which story came first. And then I was only going back 20 years. Now I'm going back 50 years. Like, what the fuck is, so chronology is very important. So it starts off with the car chase to the Catskill Mountains from the Bronx. Then it's got me in jail. I go to prison for the car chase, attempted murder on a cop. And then I get out. I start working for Joey Bikini. Then I met this asshole named Roy. Roy, what an asshole. And you can go back and look at the videos on how many times that fucker wanted to kill me because of what I did, which was really nothing. I was the fucking catalyst of Joey Bikini hunking up, beating, smacking, kicking the shit out of him out the fucking door. And I saw that, and boy, he didn't like me walking around with that story. But I never knew what he turned into. Back then there was no internet, and who the fuck if you missed the 6 o'clock news that night, you missed it. That's it. So anyway, I never knew what he turned into until COVID hit, and I wound up familiarizing myself with YouTube television, YouTube, internet, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, and then there was a whole bunch of freaking his mugshots from an era when I knew him. So he looked exactly like I knew him. And then I later found out that he murdered Joey Bikini, my friend. So I didn't put him in the book. I put Joey Bikini in the book. I put my stories about working for Joey Bikini, but I didn't put Roy in the book. So the way the book is now is, which way the movie's going to be, is I get arrested. I go to jail. I get out of jail. I start working for Joey Bikini, and I meet Roy DeMeo. So I mentioned Joey Bikini, and then boom, I get violated. I go back to jail. On my way out of jail, I met a beautiful woman. She was in the visiting room as I'm walking out the door. It's all in the book. As I'm walking out the door, hey, doing Beth? And I wind up marrying her and saving her and her 5-year-old boy from being murdered, decapitated. Murder with the Brian Malise case. So now that I know who Roy DeMeo is, and how all you people out there love this guy or hate, I don't know what it is with him, but I knew him in life for a year, and he was just a fucking piece of shit. There was nothing likable about that I found about the guy. He didn't have a sense of humor, or maybe he just didn't like me because I saw him get beat up by Joe. I saw him get his ass kicked. So Now I have to literally rewrite the book in screenplay format because it goes from 71, I go to jail, 73, I get out, and I met Roy DeMeo and the 59th Street Bridge story. So I'm pretty sure this is the way they're going to be going. That it's going to, and that's going to be wow, what a friggin' movie this is going to be. I mean, the owner of the studio, the writers, the producers, everybody is so psyched about this story. So now that I went back in time and I'm telling them all these stories about it, now I got all these fresh memories in my mind from 50 years ago about all the fist fights that I had in there. And there are some of them that are funny. So we're going to be doing Fight Club in prison. That's what we're going to, I don't know, I'm going to make something else up. But I just wanted to let you Roy DeMeo fans know that you're going to be looking for the movie, and I'm going to be updating you. See, now I was on the phone with him for 2 hours. He wrote everything down on the computer, the writer, and now he's writing that part, which may be 40 pages. He's going to go, he goes, you got to be introduced to the audience. They got to know who and what you are. So to tell you the truth, when I tell these stories and I go back in time, I don't even know. The only thing I know for sure is this 15-year-old little girl that's sitting next to me is my daughter. And I'm a proud father. And that's all that's really important to me is that I make sure that I raise her so that when I leave this world, she's going to be street smart. She's going to know how to handle herself. She's already valedictorian. Valedictorian? Is that it? Valedictorian. There she is. Smart as hell. And I wonder where she got that. Nah, her mother's pretty smart too. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to make this video too long. So please like and subscribe. And to all you people that had to resubscribe because YouTube, what did they do?
Unsubbed them.
They desub what they did. Unsub me. Boy, if you were a person, freaking YouTube, I'd fucking click you one right now. Click you one, pop you one, click you one. Old. All right. Like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.